Hello, hola, bonjour, guten tag, salve, konnichiwa, mohore. Welcome back all to another episode of Real Talk with KC. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is also known as the Golden Rule. Simply put, this phrase means to treat others the way we want to be treated. I've always strived to go about my daily life while thinking and applying this golden rule. I think it is mainly due to my past experiences where I have watched people do wrong to myself and others with no remorse. I can't think of anyone else I would rather share my stories with other than my valued subscribers right here on Real Talk with KC. In my very first year of working, a former manager of mine asked me to report to her office in a very aggressive tone. She stated that she needed to speak with me. I very reluctantly walked into her office and sat down. She reminded me that I was the newest team member and trainee on her team. She further advised that it was in my best interest to answer all of her questions truthfully. By this time, I felt so intimidated and afraid. Her questions were as follows. Question 1. Using cell phones while on duty is against company's policy. Have you seen any of your coworkers using their cell phones while on duty? I was very shocked and responded by saying, unfortunately not. Question 2. Do you see anyone taking money from the register for their personal use? Another shocking question. I responded truthfully and said, no, I have not seen anyone taking money from the register. She then reminded me that it was in my best interest to answer all of her questions truthfully. Another senior manager walked into the office shortly thereafter. I advised my manager that my focus has always been on the clients in front of me. I further reminded that there are cameras that should provide her with the answers that she seeks. The other senior manager that walked into the office turned to me and said, I should fire you right now. I responded, I am very sorry that I could not provide the answers you both were seeking. The schedule for the following week was posted the following day, and to my surprise, I was only scheduled for 1 day's work. I inquired to my manager if there was a reason why I was the only employee scheduled for short time. She replied, business is slow. This was indeed not true because business was absolutely booming. Furthermore, all other employees were scheduled for 5 days of work while I was scheduled for 1. I immediately connected it all and realized that I was the victim of having an unprofessional manager. Because I did not give her or the senior manager the answers they were seeking, I was being victimized. I reported in for my 1 scheduled day and patiently waited for the schedule to be posted for the following week. I was forced to call and inquire on which days I was scheduled. My co-pair then responded that my name is on the schedule, however, I was scheduled off duty for the entire week. The following morning, I phoned my manager and asked if there was a reason I was off the schedule. She replied, business was slow and that she couldn't talk as she was late for a meeting. I then realized that I had no choice but to quit and find another job. I wrote my resignation letter with tears in my eyes. I had a job that I loved and cherished, but was victimized and treated poorly. I eventually found another job and began to find my passion once again. A short while later, I found out that this very same manager was fired for accumulated breaches and wrongful dismissal of employees. Now, we all remember the other senior manager that threatened to fire me. Approximately 9 months later, I found out that he was terminated for stealing. Karma. While others in my position may have felt happy to hear of their downfall, I honestly felt sorry for both individuals. Years later, I became a manager myself, and a co-manager of mine was also in charge of vetting managers for a similar establishment. He and I worked very well together and learned to value each other's opinions. He remembered my work history and asked me if I was familiar with the name Miss. To my surprise, it was the same manager that victimized me all those years ago. I was shocked. He then advised that this lady recently applied for a manager's position and he was in charge of the vetting process. Oh my God. My co-manager reminded me that he valued my opinion and advised me that if I told him that he should not hire her, he will deny her application. Oh boy. Oh boy. At this point, I started sweating. I have to admit, for a moment, I wanted to tell him my horror story of how I was victimized by this very same lady and that he should run for the hills. She was not a good manager. My friends, I have learned that this world is one big circle and that karma is so real. One day, we may be on top of the clouds, and in the blink of an eye, we could be struggling to survive. I remember thinking of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. My reply to him was that while she was not the best manager, time and experiences changes people. With hesitance, I encouraged him to give her an opportunity. I also reminded him that there should be a 3-month evaluation period to where he and the owner of the company will have an opportunity to evaluate her progress. Here's what happened to Miss. Believe it or not, she was a successful manager for quite a few years. My subscribers, while I had the opportunity to possibly hinder her from being given that opportunity, I chose to follow the golden rule. The moral of this story is to do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Karma is so real. My good friends, I do hope that there was something helpful and relatable in this video for you today. Thank you so much for joining on today's episode of Real Talk with KC. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you soon, and good luck.